Okay, this is where all of the tone arms and chassis, put your back down there.
Thank you.
Arrive for finishing really. So when they arrive up here, they will be in this condition. So this is a Model 20 chassis, completely machined, and that's actually
Impressive.
been anodised to seal the metal basically really. And then it goes through quite a number of processes in this department. It has what they call a yellow etch goes on it to start with, which is literally a very fine yellow paint to go on there. And then after that it will have what we call a crackle finish put on there, which is a texture finish. And then after that we then finish it with the black.
Like a camera finish?
Yeah.
That they used to use?
Right, yeah. So all of the chassis come through this department, the Model 10 chassis, the Model 20, 30s and all of the platters. So this is 300 series tone arm before it's had any spray work done on it. Still got some machining to be done on the front end here. At the moment it's just got the blunt end, it's not prepared on there. It's been fettled slightly down the sides, but you can see this is the raw casting as it comes into us.
Are these die cast here in the UK or come in from elsewhere?
They come in from elsewhere, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the only machining process that we don't have, or cast. We have casting, but not for magnesium. We don't cast magnesium. Show you the tube after it's had a bit of work done on it. So this is the next step on with the same tube as we just looked at.
Okay.
After it's been fettled a bit more, you can see the colour of the raw metal coming through there. That's all handwork that's achieved that.
And again, this is magnesium?
Magnesium, yeah.
Okay.
Magnesium.
And this is the model which again, I'm sorry?
This will be a 309.
Okay.
Yeah. There's various versions of the 309, cosmetically different. Ours is finished in black with white print down the tube, but we do special versions for the German market, for Reka Hi-Fi, special versions for the Canadian market, for Oracle, and for Spain.
Is there much difference between your Model 5 and the one that Sumiko gets to the US?
The Model 5 actually is only made in one basic form. I know Sumiko actually sell theirs as a gold print detail 5, and they have a top wire put in it, so they now sell that as their top of the range 5.
I think that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, that is available to anybody. And has been available to anybody for about 10 years, but they've decided now that that's going to be the one they major on selling all the time. So it's the Series 5, but with gold lines down the sides and gold coloured details. Where I spend all of my time, it's the assembly department, inspection department of all the SME parts. So you very rarely see anything other than SME in this area. First of all of our components will arrive in this area for first off inspection, and that's for physical inspection to make sure the electroplating process has been carried out correctly, to make sure there's no damage to the components, and then they're cleaned and passed on to the assemblers further down. There's only a few of us working here, it's a small team.
So you wire your own cables here?
We make our own cables from Vanden Hol cable at the moment. That's Vanden Hol 501 cable, terminated with an SME manufactured plug. We manufacture our own phono plugs as well, it's all gold plated. The Vanden Hol cable, we have to supply a cable with all of our products unless you're asked not to. It's a good starting point, a very good starting point. There are many cables in the world that are worse, but it's not one of the most liked cables by some of the audiophiles in the world. Having said that, 99% of our products go out with a Vanden Hol cable on them. They can't be that bad.
That's true.
So there's not too many components here at the moment. This is a yoke bearing for an M2. That's machined from a solid brass billet, and that would have been made on the Citizen machine downstairs that we looked at earlier. That's where the bearings go on either side, spindle on the bottom, and spindle down through.
Is there a lot of difference between the 4 and the 5 arm?
They're basically the same family arm. The performance will be, in percentage terms, very close, because you're still talking about a one-piece tone arm. the same bearing assembly, the same bearings are even used now on both models.
ABEX 7?
Yeah, yeah. So we use the best bearings for all of them. Haven't dropped the 5 bearings, we brought all the others up to the same standard then. The main difference between the 4 and the 5 is one, the internal wiring. The internal wiring on the 5 is silver, even as standard. Your one may well have been upgraded further at Graham's request, I think, to the MCS wire, possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I
can't
think
remember
so.
without looking at the records.
Okay.
The Series 4s have LC or FC wire inside, and they also have a static balance system, whereas the 5 has what we call a dynamic balance system. So that's the two main differences between the two ones.
And there's no problem with some warped vinyl with the dynamic?
No, none whatsoever.
Okay.
If anything, it'll be better
Hmm.
than static balance.
I meant the dynamic balance on warped.
No, you'll be fine. It'll
Okay.
work very well. Yeah.
Continuity testers, looks like
Yes.
very important.
First and 5s going together.
Ah. How long does this process normally take?
Well,
Not that
They-
you're in a hurry.
They first of all have all the bearings installed in a sub-assembly position. What Roger's doing here is the final assembly of the arm and the balance carriage, putting the tube onto the bearing assembly and all the bits and pieces onto the arm. So this process, in actual finishing off, without soldering, perhaps for a rack, we do them in racks of 8, as you can see there,
Mhm.
may only take a matter of a few hours.
Per arm?
No, for the rack of 8.
Okay, okay.
But that's not the end of the assembly process. They've got to be soldered, they've got to be continuity checked. So then we go back to the bearings and recheck the bearings on other jigs, and finally, obviously, a clean and inspection.
Fantastic. Well, I'm very excited to be getting mine tomorrow, I hope. Otherwise,
Series 5. So that's had the bearings, the ABEX 7 bearings placed in here. This is a honed and hardened pillar assembly. We've also got ABEX 7 bearings in the yoke assembly as well.
so it ought to just outperform my Series 3 by...
It will certainly outperform the Series 3, there's no doubt about that, yeah. We have
Fantastic.
the anti-skate control instead of the bias weight
Mhm.
you've got on the Series 3, and this is the vertical tracking control. That's a spring in there, calibrated spring mechanism for applying the weight.
Probably made here.
Yeah,
Incredible. Incredible.
that's the Series 5, and partner next door. Well, this could become, because we've now upgraded all the bearings, this particular assembly doesn't have the VTF control on the side, so it's a
Mhm.
shorter spindle. That will then be a static applied weight, and that could become a Series 4 or a 309.
The damping, the fluid damping, is that part of the 4 or only the 5
You can have it on the 4
option?
as an option, yeah. That goes on the side here. That's that there. And we have here virtually a complete Series 5.
What a
So
beauty.
the only thing that's got to be done to that really is the final inspection. The cartridge needs to be added on the end, and a thorough clean and check.
Now, the difference between the gold lettered one and this one is just the gold lettering?
Just gold lettering.
Hmm.
That's the gold lettered one.
Let's see.
Let's take that off.
So I know Graham had some that were gold plated,
Yep.
and I thought it must be a chic. But
We've done quite a few gold plated ones. The arm tube remains black with the gold printing, but most of the other components are then gold plated.
I feel like part of me is going to heaven here.
Yeah.
Almost speechless. This is incredible.